This is the video to introduce our in-house designed high quality machete blade. These are my interpretation of the British Army style or pattern Golok, used primarily by British and Australian and other Commonwealth forces. I think it's a very unique style of blade. We have obviously this one sheathed. Let me get it out. This is a UK made sheath. It's 2mm Kydex. It's a out the top taco style sheath. Now what that means is it's a folded piece of Kydex. Firstly, it keeps the sheath nice and slimline. I don't really like the aesthetics of two banks of eyelets or rivets down either side. It makes the sheath, no matter for what blade, quite bulky, quite cumbersome. It adds a lot of distracting features. Not only is it slimline, but you don't get the cutting edge ever touching and blunting the Kydex, as you might well do if you have some rivets that are very close to the cutting edge. And you also don't run the risk of having these eyelets fail on you. So if you imagine the cutting edge along here with a bank of eyelets, 100, 1,000, 10,000 times of sheathing and unsheathing the blade could run the risk of these eyelets popping out and failing. And if you've got your hand around the sheath, as I often like to with our design, you run the risk of the eyelets failing. And the retention's really good. So you can be walking through the woods, you won't lose this blade easily, even tumbling down a hill. This is accentuated by the fact of having a D-ring, nice and thick D-ring with a belt dangler. There's a lot of maneuverability of the blade while it's on your hip. Now you might also notice this D-ring here. So what we like to offer is one of our BMC shoulder sling straps. You can adjust this to your preferred length, and you can wear it like a strap across your chest. And what this does is, for these longer blades that are quite, they're not the lightest blades in the world. The Goloks I wouldn't class as heavy, but you can wear it kind of like a single strap bag across your back. You can swing it round and access it whenever you need, and it just takes the weight and the strain off your belt if you're wearing it all day long. Okay, so let's move on from the sheath. These are our prototype blades. I'm really happy with them. There's really not much that needed changing at all, but there's a few minor changes that we're making to this. Now, when you look at the handles, in my opinion, ergonomics, comfort of handle has to come first. The aesthetics, or what it looks like, can come second. So you'll notice that both bottom and top edges are really nicely chamfered, really rounded. If we can see, looking at it like this, we have basically the chamfer starting from the tang, so it's not very blocky at all. You can see from looking down, it's a Coke bottle shaped design. So for the mid grip, your palm is filled nicely by the swell in the center of the handle. We have the front flared out, we have the rear part of the handle slightly flared out. Again, that always helps with mechanically gripping your hand if your grip starts to wane. We also have our trademark butt hook, which we like to have to every blade, because that is, again, just a nice little point of retention if your grip falls back. Now for the choke back grips, throttling right around the back feels really nice, at least in my medium-sized hands. There's no sharp or pointy bits at all on the back of this handle. That was our design priority. We do not want any hot spots. So going back to the things that we've changed for production, you may notice this edge here is a little bit sharp, and we're chamfering that off. We've rounded that off so that when your index finger is wrapped around here for those chops and for that detailed work, you don't feel that edge. So that's the main change we've made. That, and also inside the Micarta and G10 lined scales, we have skeletonized the tang. So it's a full tang. So this blade is designed to last you for absolutely decades, if not generations. But we just wanted to take some of the weight out of the handle area to, just to free up some of the weight, make the blade a little bit more lively in hand. But that is already, I have to say, quite nicely achieved by a few features. Now, the first one, false wedge that we've added to the back of the spine. This is really for weight saving. You sometimes see this on competition choppers, but it comes out about 3 mil thick. And it's just a nice way to remove a little bit of weight without an ugly fuller. I didn't see how a fuller was going to work on this design. We've removed some material here. That's for aesthetic reasons. It's also, taking a bit of weight out of the tip. You don't really need too much there for this. This is more of a slicey blade, all-round general purpose blade rather than a chopper like our first campaign release, which was the Chopra, which is a much more forward heavy blade for splitting firewood and things like that. So saving weight. We've also got a distal taper. So from the handle, we go from 5 mil and it runs all the way down to 2.8 millimeters at the tip. Again, that makes the blade nice and lively in hand. It doesn't feel that heavy, but it's still got enough weight behind it for getting through wood, limbing trees, that kind of general purpose camp work that you might need from a large blade like this. It's got pretty good balance. Obviously, with a blade this long, you do have a little bit more weight out the front, which again is useful for general outdoor chopping and slicing tasks. We have the straight spine, which is again a nod to the traditional Golok, but we've tried to be really refined where possible. You'll see this ricasso here, we've got it unsharpened for about 2 inches. Now, every traditional Golok will have a ricasso area that is unsharpened, and you'll see quite a weird and an unelegant way of making a ricasso. They're never comfortable, and it's not really a very usable design on other Goloks that you'll see. So we did away with that extra piece of material, which is just adding weight and making it look ugly. So we've got actually an area here where you can get your index finger around, you can get your thumb right over the thumb rise, and you can choke up for some detailed work. But still like a traditional British Army Golok. Now you'll notice that we have 2 styles here. I personally am a big fan of black blades. We're quite comfortable offering the satin, and I think it looks amazing, especially in the sunlight. And you could argue it carries a few more benefits to it in a survival situation. You could potentially use this as a mirror for signaling aircraft at long distance. It's arguably easier to keep clean and maintained. Some people just like the clean, more culinary look to their blades. So still not sure which one's my favorite, but we have matching hardware on the handles. You'll notice that we have 3 lanyard points for adding a paracord lanyard. We have the front one, which is great. What that is good for, so you can make a fairly tight loop piece of paracord here, put your hand through it, and it can actually support the weight of the blade without you even gripping it. So when you are doing lots of chopping work, that can just help offer a nice counterbalance and actually support the blade completely slung beneath your hand. So that's a really good way of using a lanyard. on a choppy blade for choppy tasks. Now we do have 2 more lanyard holes in the back, so we're going to have 3 5mm anchor points for your paracord. The black blade is going to come exactly like this with a green micarta, tan G10 liner. The satin version is actually going to be in a tan micarta handle, and we're going to go for red liners to give it a really nice pop, because satin, red and tan is an awesome colorway that I'm a big fan of. The artwork is going to change slightly, so these are labeled BMC, maker's mark, initial, the prototype. They're going to be serial numbered here on the left hand side. Golok, going to change that for Vanguard Golok. So a few more design points to discuss on the Vanguard Golok. Working from the back, smooth everywhere, no sharp points. We have a vertical swell that fills the palm nicely, curved and very chamfered top and bottom edge. We have a nice curving butt hook. As we move forwards, nice, fairly fine finger guard. Your hand is not going to be slipping forwards onto the cutting edge unless you're doing something incredibly wrong. Mid-grip position, that thumb rise fits really nicely in my hand at least, for you to put some pressure on your thumb against it for control, and your index finger fits nicely in this area here. We have about a 30-degree grind put into this blade, and we've left a bit of belly here, as you can see. This is always quite handy. A lot of parangs will have quite a generous swept belly. The Golok also, we wanted to make sure that we have some nice belly for just general clearance work and chopping ability. I'm really happy with it. It feels great in hand. I think when we've got the tan handles and the red liners on the satin, that's going to look awesome for the more, dare I say, military look. The black blade with the green micarta looks really fantastic. And you've got a really good sheath as well, with the belt loop dangler system and the shoulder sling strap. So all in all, we've got an awesome package here. Specs, let's go over that a little bit. So we have a 511mm overall length. We have a 361mm length blade, completely legal in the UK to use on private land, on private property. Don't take this out in public, please. Have a 145mm long handle, great for a medium-sized hand, and I actually designed it long enough for a large hand to have plenty of space. These are the Vanguard Goloks by BMC. They are launching this month, so when you see this video, it's going to be very soon that these are launching. I'll be honest, these are being made whether you back this project or not. But what I will say is if you back the project, you actually get this reduced price. We have several rewards on. As I say, we've got one without sheath, so that's the most affordable way of getting this blade. We have a standard blade, the UK made sheath, the shoulder sling strap. You also get our limited lifetime warranty, so if there's any defects with the blade, then get in touch, we'll sort you out. It comes with a cleaning cloth, comes with a ferro rod fire steel, morale patch, it comes with a sticker, and it comes with a length of paracord to get you going. So everything you need is in the box. Please check our rewards, you'll see which one I'm talking about. And we're also going to be doing a reward where you can get yourself one of these Goloks together with one of our first campaign blades, which is the Chopra. So these are the two variants of our Chopra June machete, in the tan coyote that I'm holding and in the tan camo